Well, most of that is true on a Tuesday night. Usually it's the three of us, but tonight it's just me and Jerry. Kyle is visiting DC with his son Hunter, who's in the military. Thanks for your service. We appreciate you. And
Very
Misty,
much.
I think they were at the Smithsonian today. They're on the mall. So I wish them the best. I hope they have a great week celebrating with their son before he has to go back into active duty. We wish them the best. So my name is JW Colwell. I'm joined, as always, on a Tuesday night with my good friend Jerry Kamora from the band Slapjaw, and just from life. Jerry and I are
One life,
hitting 50 this year together. But
doesn't it?
oh, well, just the idea, like, I don't know about you, but like I discovered something today. Well, first off, I got my first pair of Crocs today, which or the last couple of weeks. I've vowed never to wear Crocs. I vowed no, no, no. Right? I think it's like I had it in my mind that it's like giving up. Right? It's like I'm done.
Are they
Right?
comfortable?
You know what?
I never
Fuck
wore them,
Jerry.
so I have no idea.
Jerry, they're the most comfortable shoe I've ever had on my foot.
Are they the insulated type or just the regular?
No, they're just yeah, they're like now here's the other thing that kind of sold me on them now. We have this giant flea market up here and down here in Daytona, and they have a little area where you can go to like a Crocs store and purchase little doohickeys for your Crocs.
Yep.
So I got basic black
Emily got
Crocs,
those a
but
lot.
then I got cool doohickeys. I have right now. I have two Raiders. I have one Raider on each foot, a Raider doohickey, and then I have a Ghostbuster symbol and a Star Wars symbol, Star Wars logo and a Ghostbusters logo, and then the other foot I have a Captain America shield and a Batman Joker face that's cut down the middle. So it's, and then all of a sudden they're fucking comfortable. Like I can't explain it.
Well, you know what though? As you get older, you realize I'm going to wear what I want to wear.
I don't
Make me
care
comfortable.
anymore.
I don't
Yeah,
care how I look so much.
just don't care.
If it's
And
comfort, that's comfort is key.
well, we were talking like my wife bought me at the beginning of last summer. She bought me because I had a thing going on. You know, I had the major thing going on with my lower half where it was just crazy. She bought me these extra comfortable loungewear that I would never wear. I would never in a million years wear it. It has
Now you
fucking
do.
flamingos on it. It has drinks on it. But fuck, they're comfortable, Jerry. And you know what? I just want to be comfortable now. I wore them out the other day, out of the house. Like, and I was just like, I envisioned myself never being somebody to do that, but it happened. And I was like, I just had to run. I had to run and get something. It might have been donuts or breakfast or something. And I just ran and I was in the car and it was like, fuck, I don't want to get changed. And
Mhm.
then like I always remember though looking at those people when I was out and judging them, and I'm sorry.
Yep.
I'm sorry if I ever did that.
Now you know, right?
Yeah, I'm sorry if I did that. I feel bad. Let's get some comments early. See how everybody's doing. Good evening, friends. Good evening, Ken
What's
McKernan.
up, Ken?
I'm gonna for this show tonight. I'm gonna make a big thing. I made Ken McKernan um, an admin in our loud and nerdy group. So
None.
I think I put you in charge as well. You and Kyle can accept it at any point. Where you guys are, you can watch some things and invite people and do whatever you need to do. But Ken has been doing a bang up job. He's keeping all those bots out. I got an email that a bot was trying to get in, and I went, and by the time I got there, Ken McKernan already had it done.
Shut down.
No loudmouth, laugh out loud silence. I don't know. Jerry and I talk a lot. We talk a lot. 50, you are youngins. No, we are oldins. We
Yeah,
are.
somebody thinks I'm young, and I'm okay with that, though.
I'll take it,
I'll
but
take it.
I don't agree with it in any way, shape, or form.
I don't necessarily feel it, but I'll take it.
Rocks with I don't know what the looky look thing means. Oh
That's
God,
a what?
you're shaking my head.
What?
I think maybe it's a what? Elastic waistband.
Uh-huh.
But the I will say that these comfort things, like they're like pajama shorts, but they're shorts. So it's You can wear them in bed, certainly. But I like they're so thin. I can wear them in the pool. I can wear them anywhere. Like I would never wear them in movies or anything. But
It's
I'm
like
just
boxers.
yeah, they're like but really lengthy, cool boxers. Anyway,
So jams.
I am closer to 60, so you are young. Again, I would say we're oldens, but I'm not gonna fight with you, Ken. This
Hey,
is
as
an
long as
interesting.
he's older than us, I'm cool with that.
So
Anybody older than me, I'm cool with that.
well, I was thinking about it. It's interesting so everybody that's in our class or friends from high school and whatever, if their birthdays are this year, I put welcome to 50. I say, hey, I know you're 50. If your birthday is after mine, I know you're 50, right? Because you were in high school before. So I know you're 50. So I say welcome to 50. But
And honestly, John, I'm on the younger side of our class. To be
yeah,
honest, I
I
mean,
I
I'm
know.
not 50 until December,
I know. I know.
and that's crazy. I should have been 93 technically, but I
But
started
you were
early.
smart and you got in early and got out early.
Well, my
Did
parents were
what you had.
smart.
Did what
Yeah,
you did. What your parents were like. We need him in school.
yeah. Well, I'm
We need
get
him
him
in
out of my
school.
hair now. Calgon, take me away while this
Yeah,
kid is at
I
school.
need. He's advanced. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Get him in school.
I heard passing by the skin of my teeth a lot when I was a little kid.
Well,
Skating on thin ice, you know those phrases.
after the fact, I will admit, in high school, I didn't do any like I didn't I didn't fail a lot. But the stuff I did fail was like I could not get. I was in the advanced class for math classes, and I wouldn't have graduated if I hadn't gotten out of that trig class. I was in a trig class,
Oh, I
and it was all
hated trig.
super smart people, like
Hated it.
our valedictorians, and I was in that class, and he could tell me seven different things, and I would look at him and be like, "I have no idea
Whatever,
what
dude.
you're talking about, sir."
Just tell me what I have to memorize for
Yeah,
the
just
test.
Jesus. And so I got out of that, and I took a computer science class to skin of my teeth to get out of high school. But yeah, I mean, but everything else is advanced, like advanced history, advanced English. I mean, we were reading books that I would assume are on banned lists now. With the state of the world right now, we're reading books like I think we read Diary Anne Frank, and we like
My kid just had to do Lord of the Flies.
Lord of the Flies is one of those oh poor piggy, poor piggy. Um,
Yep.
but anyway, okay, so this is the official week where we start the summer movie going season. Are you excited at all, Jerry? Are you like jonesing for summer films?
I want to see the Planet of the Apes film
Yes,
for
I want to
sure.
see Furiosa. I want to see If. I like well done family movies.
I
So,
still want to see Godzilla -1, even though it's
oh
been
my
out.
god, I when the moment Godzilla -1 becomes available on streaming, I cannot wait. Although it's going to be a real rough time in our house because the boys, Caleb and Jacob, they view Godzilla as a hero. So they don't like when we go back and watch older
Yeah,
movies, they don't understand that, King Kong was a dangerous monster and Godzilla was a dangerous monster. And and even the first couple of Toho movies, they don't know that. We're watching all the old ones. And Jerry, again, I am sure I've talked about this, but the more I watch them, they're absolutely. We had one, I think it was Jesus, it was Godzilla versus Gigan or Gagan,
hmm
and and then Gagan showed up again, and so just like Gagan is the weirdest looking creature. He's got like a robot eye, and he's got like a
right.
giant chainsaw in the center of him, and he's got two like he doesn't actually have hands. He has like
Yeah, they're like
clubbing
claw,
claw
like
kind of things.
right, right.
So we're watching all those, and like the sheer volume of the sheer amount of people that are just from outer space, and or cockroaches, and or people who live under the sea. That was one of them, and they made Mecha Godzilla again. So it's like, and these space people can just call people into existence, and have them attack Godzilla and shit. It was, but so I when we get to Godzilla -1, it's gonna be very hard. They also want to watch Shin Godzilla, which I don't want to let them watch because it's way too gory. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit beyond them. So I would like them to keep their um their magic. Fall Guy expected to make 30 million this week. I was going to talk about this. It's on track for a $30 million opening. I don't know that that's so. This summer is not looking great. Although I think there'll be movies that do very well.
Is,
Um,
is Lee Majors even in this, like making a cameo or what?
nope.
I haven't
No,
seen
not
any
at
trailer.
all. And that's the thing. I like some of these are not even like these reboots that they're doing are not even like trying to act like they're IP. Right? This one in particular looks good. Gosling is great. Emily Blunt is good. You know what I mean? Like my cousin sent me a message is like, is this supposed to be based on the show? And I was like, I don't think so. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, but it is expected to make 30 million. But think about this, right? It's expected to make anywhere from 30 to 35 million. If it does anything over 35 million, everybody will be thrilled. We got Terror opening up, that a low budget horror film from Sony. That's about a possessed deck of tarot cards. Although the monsters look cool in that one, right? The monsters look kind of neat. Like the guys that are on the tarot cards that come to life look spooky. And it was that trailer was on Ghostbusters, and it scared the shit out of my nephews. So maybe but that's opening. We do get Star Wars, the Phantom Menace coming back this week. Only in 2,600 theaters. So they had a really good thing when Return of the Jedi came out for the 40th anniversary. It grossed $5.1 million while it was in theater for a week. And Phantom Menace, celebrating its 25th anniversary, I can't expect it to not do well. Like at least whatever. I think we'll do a movie like when we have Kyle back in a couple weeks. We'll do a full on what I think is going to do very well for the summer. But Fall Guy doing 35 million. We've had weekends in the opening week of summer, not during COVID, obviously, but we had Marvel movies that opened, and they were all over $100 million. So 30 to 35 million dollars. Exhibitors just need new blood. They need fresh movies in theaters. Let's see. Let's see. I buried down a sci-fi table accidentally. They didn't make me take it moving forward. Just got extra dark room time left. I wonder why. Okay, so you broke a sci table. Interested in Planet of the Apes? Is it the start of a new franchise for them, really? But just not into Godzilla. I'm going to tell you right now. Well, first off, Raven, have you watched the Planet of the Apes movies? The recent reboot, the Planet of the Apes. Those movies are fantastic. Like the recent Planet of the Apes reboot, fantastic. 3 movies, really good, all solid, all from Caesar's timeline. First one started with a virus movie that was a little bit scary before COVID, and then COVID happened, and you're like, holy fuck, maybe the apes are coming. But this is one of the better reboots, and Jerry and I have talked about this privately. When this movie opens next week, we have talked about the concept that maybe they will come full circle. That they will come full circle, and there will be a Charlton Heston-esque character sighting of the astronauts coming in, because a lot of the sequences in the new movie are them chasing down humans.
Right, it's the start of the slaves.
It's the start of the slave humans. That is what Heston runs into the moment he gets off the ship in the original 68 Planet of the Apes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Kyle's in the audience. That's nice. We love Kyle. We miss Kyle. Kyle in the audience. Okay. Ken McKernan writes, Heather Thomas told me they were not asked to be in the remake. Oh. Wait, you talked to Heather Thomas? Ken, this is an interesting discovery. You're talking to Heather Thomas, Ken? It wasn't pillow talk. I mean, we're youngins. We have questions.
She needed a place to crash.
Sith Jar Jar. I burned down a science class table. Okay. The idea of them going full loop is what makes it interesting. Yes, I would love for them to actually have an astronaut coming up. I asked her a question on Twitter and she answered. Oh, there you go.
Cool.
That's interesting, Ken. The idea that social media can be productive in any way is always good. So yeah, the Fall Guy opens this weekend. Also, I do want to talk a little bit about. I did have a good week because you'll notice I have Happy Belated Alien Day, which is 4/26. Um, Alien Day. Uh, and I went to the 45th anniversary screening. It's playing for a week, so you still have 2 days to see it on the big screen. And Jerry, I'm going to ask you: do you know why? And this is for everybody watching. Do you know why it's called 4/26? Why it's Alien Day on 4/26?
Not exactly. No.
Okay, this is good. This is a good place. This is a good learning nerd moment for everyone. So the place where the eggs is, the place where the ship that holds all the eggs are, is actually in Aliens when she makes it back, they say the name of the planet and the numerical name of the planet is LV 4/26. So about 10 years ago, they got the bright idea of making it Alien Day because of LV 4/26 is where all the eggs were and where everything started. And so from that point on, now also in that movie, LV 4/26 is named Acheron because that they changed the name of the planet when they started settling. So if somebody goes, oh, it's not LV 4/26, it's Acheron, it's both. It started off as LV 4/26. That's what it landed on. The Nostromo landed on. It looked fantastic, Jerry. On the big screen. It looked like I just can't say enough to people. If you really love these movies, you owe it to yourself. If they come back at any point for you to see them on a big screen again, it's a different animal. And the place was packed. It was like packed for a Friday afternoon at 1 o'clock in April.
That's good to see, though.
It was like 70 people were in the theater, and everybody's buzzing. And then beforehand, during the 45th anniversary screening, they had a 10 or 15 minute conversation with Fede Alvarez, who's making Alien Romulus, which comes out in August. I'm really looking forward to it because, and I'm sure I've talked about it on the show, but it's a chance to reset the timeline because it takes place in between Alien, the original Alien, and Aliens. Because of the 57-year time gap, there are places to play in the Alien universe, right?
Right.
Where we don't have to worry about some of the bad movies that came after, right? We don't have to worry about the Alien vs. Predator movies, which are awful. We don't have to worry about the, Alien Resurrection, which has got some interesting parts, but kind of a failure. We especially don't have to worry about Alien 3, which is the most...
That's your favorite one.
I hate that fucking movie so much, Jerry. Every time I try to watch it, every time I try to go back to it, I just hate it on every principle. I hate it. I hate what they do to Newt. I hate what they do to Hicks. I hate what they do to Bishop. I hate what they do to Ripley. Putting her in a male colony full of rapists and murderers. And then she gets impregnated by the alien? It's just one of those movies, like, it's so fucking bleak, and it's bleak the entire time, and it's just, like, Aliens is dark, but there's moments of there's moments of levity,
right.
You know what I mean? And
like Aliens, Bill Paxton. That's it, man. We're toast.
Game over, man.
We're screwed, man. We're toast.
Why are they fucking with the lights? It's. But that's what I mean. Like, Alien 3 has none of that, and it takes away all of the things that last half hour of Alien, where Ripley goes on the run to get Newt back, is one of the best sequences of any movie ever. Her with, like, taking on all of her fears, right? And just, I need to get this little girl out. You know what I mean? Because my daughter died. That's another thing a lot of people don't realize about Ripley's daughter. Ripley's daughter actually died of old age while she was stuck in hypersleep. So there's a whole segment of that character that's just, when she's a great character to begin with. Like, she's great in Alien. Like, it's she's the one that says, let's not let this guy into the ship. We don't want to break quarantine. He can stay out there. We're good. And Ash, of course, who's, if anybody hasn't seen it, but Ash is, of course, the android that opens the door and lets him in because that's the orders he has. I mean, the other thing, Jerry, that I find funny about Alien 45 years later is every once in a while, too, and then I got an anecdote about a friend who has a book coming up that's really great. But I always find it funny when people go, I heard somebody's working on an Alien television series, and it's a woke Alien television series, right? And I'm like, have you not seen the original movie? Because when people say, I don't want my Alien movies going woke, just so we're clear, Alien is about a bunch of people who work for a corporation, and that corporation is paying them a certain amount of money, and they are deemed expendable, right? It was always woke. The third person in charge on the ship is a woman. One of the characters is, and this is a true thing. If you go into Aliens and look, Lambert is on a scale with her sexuality, so she's bi at best, right? So it's always been a woke franchise. Also, just so we're clear, Ripley is one of the wokest feminine characters in the history of film. She's everything you want. You know what I mean? Out of a heroine. I just find that amazing when people fight about it.
Do you remember a movie that was like a spin-off of that called Creature?
Yes. Oh my God.
I used to love that movie. It was like a
Um,
spin-off of Aliens, right?
well, yeah. Well, not a spinoff, but like,
Like a cheap.
like when every time there's a major change in, you know what I mean? Like every time there's a change in how movies are made, you have
It was a copy.
you have a thing where basically it
They play off a similar story. They
it spawns a, you know what I mean, a series of movies that are, you know what I mean, that are just
yeah. Well, it's like
very similar.
The Abyss, Leviathan, Deep Star 6. Like they all fit in that little category too, right?
Yeah, well, and yes, and what happens is it becomes like one of those things where
It
you
was the
look up
year
and,
of the deep sea creatures.
well, yeah, the deep sea creature one, Deep Star 6 and Leviathan, and then, but like Hollywood does it a lot. Hollywood does it
Yep.
more than you want to admit, in the sense that they basically they get cooking on one central theme, and then we have seven
Right.
we have seven movies that are about you know what I mean, that are about like uh tornadoes, or they're about, you know what I mean, like we get it happens a lot more than I think we want to admit, where Hollywood
It
gets
does.
going on one particular thing and just figures, hey, we're just going to make a bunch of movies that are like this, that are
Mhm.
all the same.
They like this one, so we're gonna pump them out.
Well, yeah, and that's a funny, that's how Hollywood works sometimes. I mean, remember the year we had, what we have, Dante's Peak, right?
Oh yeah, all the
And
disaster
Volcano,
movies.
right? They just churn
Volcano.
them out. They churn them out in an unhealthy kind of way. But
Day After Tomorrow.
and some of them are good, and some of them aren't. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
Deep
you know what I mean?
Impact.
Yeah, Deep Impact. Oh my God,
Armageddon.
that movie, unbelievable. Um, you know, and Armageddon, Deep Impact and Armageddon were the same year. You know what I mean? So it's like
Yep.
it becomes one of those things where it's like, what? How the hell do I? How the hell do we do this? So one of the things that's super cool that I got going on, a good friend person I went to college with at the University of Scranton. I'm going to talk a little bit because also Alien. Brendan Denis has based on the films from 20th Century Fox Studios. He has a book coming out called Alien: Uncivil War. That's the logo for it. Brendan Denis, my good friend, and I was going to play with him and everything. I wish him the best of luck. The book is coming out in July, like right before Alien Romulus. So it's a good time to be an Alien fan. And the idea that they're starting separate timelines is good, right? That means maybe we get a chance at some good movies. Fede Alvarez, the stuff with him was really great. Where he was just asking Ridley Scott, he got a sit down with Ridley Scott and just happy to be there, and saw Alien when he was a kid, and super cool. So I wish Brendan the best of luck. For fuck's sake, I'm so tired of people using that word as a scapegoat, stereotype, catch-all. It's bad. But the funny thing is, when people talk about, like, for me, I really notice it when people are talking about movies, because I think, like, Alien is very pro-worker. It's a very pro-worker movie. The franchise always has been. Weyland-Yutani is one of the most evil and vile corporate. Like, sure, we have the Umbrella Corporation and all these other corporations that are super evil, but Weyland-Yutani was first. The Tyrell Corporation isn't great. You know what I mean? Like, there are some major corporations in films that are just.
Or even what the heck was the name of the one in Scanners? They made Ephemeral.
Yes, yeah. Oh,
I just can't remember the name of it.
But there's a history of evil corporations, and Weyland-Yutani is at the top of the list. So when somebody says, the new Alien movie is all about the workers and the working class, so it's woke, like, fucker, I feel you haven't seen an Alien movie. That's what it makes me think when you say something stupid like that. Let's see. Blair Witch found footage. Yes, there was a bunch, and now there's found footage movies, right? Some are better than others. The Asylum Studio does the cheap knockoff movies. Yes, and then later on we had Sci-Fi, right? Sci-Fi.
Sorry, that's what was in.
Also, Golan. What was it?
Consec.
The Consec Corporation. Yeah, there's a history.
I had to look it up. Sorry.
Scanners is Consec. There you go. Ken's on fire. He's become an admin, and now he's just running. The Asylum Studio does the cheap knockoff. Also, Golan Globus did a lot of cheap knockoffs. New Line at one point did a bunch of knockoffs until they started getting their own IP. Right? New Line, did New Line and Golan and Globus. Canon.
I love Canon movies. I can't help it.
Well, Canon movies, like, they're made different. They're made like
they are.
They're just made differently. They're fun. Okay, so Alien is a big part of this week. If you get a chance, go check it out. What else? We do want to celebrate something we were talking about last week when we had our guest on. These are pictures from the Mythic Fairy. I want to say conclave, but it's not conclave. What's it called, Raven? But, like, mermaids hanging out, people doing cool stuff, just kind of hanging out. Fairies reading to children, which is cool. I'm down. Also people getting to, like, fish in the fish tank with the mermaid.
Mythica Fairy Market. There it is.
Mythica Fairy Market. That's exactly what it is. I'm so sorry. I've gone up on it 3 times. I did it all last week, and now I've done it again. And now I'm just going to say Mythica Fairy Market. But it was conclave too. There were a lot of different fairies showing up. But apparently it was a very good weekend. They did very well.
It was a very good weekend.
A very good weekend.
See that little joke?
Oh
there?
God, fucking, we're making puns. That's
our age.
That's a sign of a youngin.
It's like the dad jokes. Come on.
Like the dad jokes. Yes. But I want to congratulate them and the Moon Tavern. Again, trying to do stuff in northeastern Pennsylvania is not the easiest thing. As somebody who tried to do a bunch of things while running a movie theater, it is not easy to get people out of their ruts, out of their what they do everything. Like one of the things I would say with Endless Mountains Theater, the one that I ran, is we would have people showing up and doing all these cool things, like movie premieres and short film festivals and all these different things. And you would say to them, "Hey, if you like these things, stop going to Cinemark. You know what I mean? Stop going to the big theater chains because the only way we stay open is if you go to the regular movies here too, right?" And that's a tough road to hoe in Scranton and northeastern
Oh
Pennsylvania
yeah,
because everybody is so goddamn set in their ways. Like,
yes they are.
I get these wings on Friday night, I get this pizza on Saturday. You know what I mean? And so anytime you
Mhm.
try to shake them out of it, 9 times out of 10 they don't want to be shook. You know what I mean? And so I give the Mythic Fairy Market a lot of credit for trying to do that. JW must be bad at Toon Sisters. Really sorry I didn't get video, guys. Yeah, don't worry about that. I think the pictures kind of do it justice. Like, I mean, this looks adorable. A little girl like fishing next to a mermaid. And then this one, this is hilarious. Like, just somebody reading a book and you know actively giving youth a kind of a wispy feeling of nostalgia and fun, and you know what I mean. Like, it looks like this Moon Tavern is really nice. It's a nice setup for conventions and things.
It's big there. It's I mean that show
A
we
lot of
played,
space.
there was 11 bands there, and it didn't look as packed, but I mean it
Well,
was pretty busy there.
Eric, who runs the Moon Tavern, it was his birthday, so happy birthday to him as well. um we appreciate those folks a lot.
It's the ballroom is what that is. That's the Moon Ballroom. The tavern's upstairs, and it's smaller. It's actually the tavern's actually like a bar.
When he was on, he definitely had a feeling of somebody that's, well, there's two things I felt about him when he was on the show a couple, like a month ago. One, he's swimming upstream, right? Because getting anybody to do anything in northeastern Pennsylvania is hard.
Yes.
And two, he seems like really into it. So
Yeah.
cool.
No, I talked to him. I talked to him like 2 or 3 times since we had him on here in person.
Yeah, and so yeah, it seemed
Just
like a
seeing what
great
kind of
guy. I wish
events.
him
I
the
mean,
best.
he's got the
He's older than us,
there's a
Jerry. Just
male
so
review coming there. There's a like the midget wrestling thing is coming there. He's got all kinds of things coming there.
yeah,
So
and to be honest, I can't think of many places that do that kind of things.
yeah, so
Let's
it's
see
it's
what
nice
else.
to see, like, but hopefully people would come out.
Generally, we had children's family entertainment where you could shop handmade items, arts and crafts. Eric is amazing, great guy, very open to all communities. Yeah, I mean that's the key to
Yep.
business, and that's the
He's
key to
trying to bring
business.
people to his place because he's got the place to do it.
He's got the place to do it, and at some point he will be viewed as like the place to do these things. So a good on him. I was looking. I do want to talk about one thing. I was reading an article from our good friends at Film Buff Online from William Gadavakis. Um, Jerry Seinfeld said some stupid things in the last couple of weeks. Um, Not stupid, but just uh, you know, how do I say this? It's short sighted to be like, like he did a whole thing where basically he has a movie premiering called Unfrosted or Frosted on Netflix, which is about the birth of the Pop Tart, right? So it's kind of wacky and it's based on a true story, but not really a true story. And so he's been out making the rounds, and basically he's proclaimed movies dead, movies are dead, and comedians are the only people that can make people laugh anymore. And PC and the left have ruined comedy. Couple things. Movies are only dead with regards to what I would say is movies are only dead because we haven't had a lot of good product. But if the product's good, people go to the movies, right? Movies are hits.
This
Movies
is
do
true.
well. You know what I mean? Like if it's Dune 2 did well, Kong versus Godzilla did well, right? These are movies people want to see, right? Last summer Barbie did well, Oppenheimer did well. So it's not it's just you got to have the right movie, and if it's not a great movie, then you have a
That's the
problem.
way it's always been,
Yes, but
right?
it's even more. The way he described it was we're getting all of our media through a fire hose right now, and you have to walk through the fire hose to get the media, right? That you really want. So in that in terms like his theory is that films are dead, and I'm a movie guy. My all my handles are the movie guy, Jerry. You're a movie guy too, right? The idea that you somebody would say film is dead when we know it's the single greatest product that America's ever produced. It's the single greatest industry in the history of America that is produced better than anywhere else. Like we don't make cars like Japan, we don't make cars like Germany, we don't like American films though. They do well in America, they do well in Canada, do they do well in the
Right.
South America? They do. American films are the only export, right? They're the only major export. You know, what other like
But I
American
mean,
films
you could
gross
even
$1 billion.
argue for
They're
some
good.
foreign films too. I mean, there's a lot of foreign films that are great.
Yes, and but the idea
Like
that a
he's just
film is
not
dead,
seeing it
I,
all. That's all.
I just don't. Well, and he's right about the idea that the medium is changing, and like it kind of also ties in with an article I was reading, um, where the guys who made the Avengers movies, right? The team that made the Avengers movies basically said, you know, it's not that the movies are dead, right? Um, it's not that there's hero fatigue, right? Um, and it's the Russo brothers, right? Joe and Anthony Russo, you know, responsible for Captain America: Civil War, Avengers: Endgame. You know what I mean? Like some of the biggest movies ever. You know, they were asked about like, what do you think's going on with Marvel having all these flops? And he's like, they say the same things I do, which are they really flops? They gross $500 million. Like the idea that you're calling these movie flops in regards to other movies is
I
ridiculous.
wouldn't see it as a flop. I'd see it as like it's hype. The hype is was more back
Right, right,
with those other
and it's
ones,
kind of
right?
and what
The
they
hype sort of died a little bit, but people are still watching them, right?
yeah, well, and here's the thing, everything like I'm under the impression they'll come back the moment there's something amazing, right? So
Right.
Deadpool versus Wolverine is going to gross a bunch of money this summer. Anyway, but what
Absolutely.
they wrote was, I think it's a current reflection of the current state of everything. It's a difficult time right now. It's an interesting time. I think we're in a transitional period, and people don't know quite yet how they're going to receive stories moving forward or what kinds of stories they're going to want. There's a big generational divide about how you consume media. There's a generation that's used to appointment viewing and going to a theater on a certain date to see something, but they're aging out. That's us, Jerry, right? You
Yes.
know, we're going to go see Fall Guy the night open. Meanwhile, the new generation are, I want it now, I want to process it now, then moving on to the next thing, which they process while doing two other things at the same time. You know, it's a very different moment in time than it's ever been. And so I think everyone, including Marvel, is experiencing the same thing, this transition. And I think that really, really is probably what's at play more than anything else. Um, you know, and then they said something along the lines of memes and headlines with nobody reading past two sentences. So everything's 100 characters or less or 10-second videos, and social media is swiped through. That's part of it, right? The idea that
Attention spans.
attention spans are low, and movies require you to go into a dark room with a bunch of strangers and shut off for 2 hours and 40 minutes, which is the way things are going right now. Like it's a long
But
time.
you know, but you
And
know, it's not dead because I keep like when you're talking, I keep thinking of Oppenheimer because a movie like that doesn't fit this current all action, but
yeah,
it did very well,
close to $1 billion.
right?
Just so we're
And there's a
and
reason
it's
because
right
people still want to
story.
consume that.
Yes, and
It's
so
out there. It
it's
just doesn't seem like it's out there because everything's so
well, and
fast paced
I think
anymore.
it's the expectations we put on things too. It's like
Hmm.
you know we say like we look at Ant Man and the Quantum Mania movie only grosses $450 million worldwide. We go, what is going on with Marvel? $450 million. That's the gross. That's the gross product of like.
I wouldn't mind having that money.
A small country. Let's see. Okay, we got some things. Hey, brothers, I'm late, but I made it. We appreciate whenever you show up, Sean. We know you're busy. Movies are alive. To me, network TV sitcoms are dead. Yeah, and that's one of the things I was talking about. Like, Seinfeld is talking about movies being dead, and I'm thinking to myself, Seinfeld made one of the most popular shows in history, although he didn't land it, right? I mean, the Seinfeld ending is one of the worst sitcom endings in the history of television. And here he is at 70 years old saying comedians are the only ones that can do anything. And I look at it and I go, ugh. Don't talk about movies. You don't make movies, man. The only movie you ever made was a B movie, and nobody gave a shit about it. So stay the fuck out of like talking about movies. I know you're making a Netflix movie now with Melissa McCarthy, and you're excited and you're directing and all this other stuff, but I don't want your opinions on movies. Like, and I understand the comedian aspect of it. I understand the comedians are, like, we're at a weird place with going to a comedy show where we're collecting phones at the door, right? Because whatever the comedian's going to say might be controversial, and he doesn't want to end up on a YouTube clip, and so they're under a little bit of pressure. But this concept that the left and people are, PC is ruining everything. How's Chappelle doing? Like, that guy's making bank, and every time I see a new comedy special come out, all I hear is about how, he's bashing somebody or yelling at some, you know what I mean? Endangered
I think
people.
all that comedy is basically still out there. It's just what you see on social media is people bashing it, and I think that gives people the impression that
right. Well, that's what I mean. Like the idea that comedians are.
I think a lot more people could take a joke than can't, in a way. You know what I mean? Still.
Yeah, I think that the 10%, the sliver, but the sliver is usually loud. A squeaky wheel gets the grease, is what my dad.
And that's what everybody sees, and that's why maybe somebody like him is thinking that, because he's seeing this. It's every day in your hand,
Yeah. Let me ask you a question. Do you have a favorite quote from your parents? Just offshoot. Do you have something that your parents used to say to you that you've taken and processed, and now you use it in everyday life, or you use it for your kids now?
Oh man,
I have one in my head.
I'm drawing a blank, but there's so many.
Well, the one my dad used to say all the time was, if you're 5 minutes early, you're 10 minutes late. Like, he used to say that to me all the time, because I still am a late person in many ways, because I want the dramatic entrance. That's just ego and narcissism swirling around inside my mental makeup. But he always used to say to me, if you're 5 minutes early, you're 10 minutes late. The idea that you should be 15 minutes early for every appointment, every engagement, every date, every dinner, you should be early. And 5 minutes, even 5 minutes early, is about 10 minutes off of where you should be. Right? And I've taken that and I've processed it, and I say it to other people now as a curmudgeonly old white guy. Speaking of curmudgeonly old white guys, Jesus, this is amazing. Hey, do me a favor. If you can hear me, can you shake your head and say you're ready? Okay, there you go.
What's happening, guys?
Oh,
wow, you're loud. We've been subdued in a while.
What's up?
Sorry, is the mic coming in hot? Sorry.
That's great microphone.
It was good. Also, you don't have the beard to block it anymore, so
don't remind me. Damn.
You look naked without it.
That's 3 weeks worth of 5 o'clock shadow.
Well, now you know what? Now you have to actually eat leftovers. You don't have any.
Yeah, you can just leave them in your beard.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't miss the snot, I can tell you that.
Well, no, you have a baby for that now. You have a grandson for that.
A 1-year-old grandson and a 3-year-old granddaughter. So you guys were talking about being 50 earlier. I'm only 48. Okay, so
Yeah, you're a youngin too, or as like I like to say, an oldin. Joe Ridgely, how are you doing, and how is everything going? And let's talk about this madness for a moment. I have it saved. I have everything saved here. Like, look at this. Look at you've thrown out the announcement that you're coming back on Sunday nights.
yeah, tentatively. We'll see how.
I need a co-star to, but so I think the network has missed you. I think.
Well, I appreciate that. I mean, if you think about it, I've been doing this for 7 years now, approximately. It started off with technical defects. Do you even know the story behind it?
No.
Oh, no. Dude.
Because remember, I met you through
David.
Yes, I met you through David Madison. So, you and I, like, the interesting thing, it's like me and Jerry. Our story is interesting in that once you and I got together on a podcast and started talking, sometimes you have more in common with people that are offshoot people that you end up meeting, and then you end up liking them better than the people who introduced you to the people. Not in a bad way, just,
right.
There's more in common. And so tell us a little bit about Technical Defect. Introduce yourself to the Loud Nerdy Nation.
Loud Nerdy Nation, I'm Joe Ridgely. A producer of the Indie Escape Network.
He's the Grand Poobah.
You will never hear me say that.
No, but
ever.
If I could get you a cool fez, I would.
No, man. I mean, everybody on the Indie Escape Network is created equally. It's just like, what's our motto for the Indie Escape Network?
For Creatives Unite.
There you go. That's what it's all about, man. That's it.
I tried.
If we can help people out there, creatives, get them on a show, get them exposure, let's freaking do it. This started off as an electronics review show. Technical defects. So it's.
What were you reviewing? Like VHS machines?
No. We were reviewing electronics like Rokus and Fire Sticks, and we were beta testing stuff. And then we were not only, they were giving us products to test, and then we were doing reviews. But then all of a sudden, I started talking to Ming Chen from Comic Book Men, and he's like, man, let me hop on sometime. And then that turned into Mike Zapsik coming on as well. And Kane Hodder was like the first official celebrity we had on, and that's going on 6-7 years now, and that just opened doors.
Yeah.
And so, and it went from there. So Technical Defects, my partner Ryan decided to leave. He had a growing family. Can't blame him. As you guys know, this stuff's time consuming. Even if it's once or twice a week, you're still doing crap in the background.
A lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you have a podcast. It's a lot of fucking work.
Now imagine producing 5 shows for the network.
You are a modern Marvel.
I was burning myself out, brother. I was burning myself out.
And you've taken and we've been working you and I have been working in the weeds trying to find new and exciting people. Every time we tend to find somebody. What I would say is the commitment and the idea of the actual commitment of showing up every week and building an audience and building a show and building a good group like Jerry and Kyle or me and Rich or me and Rich and Natasha. Building that from the ground up, from the floor up is time consuming, and it also requires a basic level of commitment.
Oh, yeah. And many have tried. Few have succeeded. I've had celebrities approach me and say, hey, I got to do a show. I got to have a show on your network. We got to do this. And then it's like, all right, let's book the first episode 2 months out. Let's do this. Oh, JW, you know how that goes. They're all excited and everything.
But 2 months might as well be 6 years. It might as And that's the thing. I think the interesting thing for us is the people that really want to talk and people that really want to kind of brand themselves and be a person that other people can look to for answers or
Yes.
for levity or for what movie should I go see this weekend or what TV show should I be watching or with some of the other shows like my fandom for like Gabe very very fond of the Saw movies and like
Right.
different things like but it requires a level of commitment that is becomes more than you expected it to be it's not a bad thing. It's
Well,
just
no, I mean, some people just expect to show up and that's it. And it's like, yeah, it's not quite that simple. Thank you for playing.
oh we got some things. Hold on. What's up, Joe?
Ken, I love Ken.
Ken's amazing. Ken, we made
See, Ken was there from the beginning though, because it originally started in a Roku group that we were both in, and I was an admin, and Ken was a moderator.
Ken is now an admin on Loud and Nerdy, just so we're clear.
Sweet.
It's
Hey,
crazy.
you could
He's catching bots at a geometric rate.
you couldn't have picked a better cat, man. He is awesome.
Yeah,
Raven shows up every week. Also, I love Raven.
It's amazing. No Kyle, so we get Joe. Welcome, Joe. Not boosting numbers. Laugh out loud. She cracks me up.
Well,
Joe
you-
looked naked.
Whoa.
Dates.
Yeah.
Let's not. Get
Sean.
any more
Man, I got a big announcement about Sean also, if I may. So
Oh,
you guys may know.
Let's do the rest of the comments first. And
Oh,
we'll get-
sorry.
Yeah, I don't.
I'm used to running things. I'm not used to being on this side. I need the buttons, man.
I know. It's amazing. Guys are cool. Kane is so amazingly.
Oh,
a lot of
he
work
is
that scares
great.
me- that scares with care.
Oh, he's been on the network quite a few times, also with by himself and with Melissa Rose and Tiffany Shepis, because they have a podcast together.
The finishing funds for a film I got to play 2 characters in with a bunch of awesome people starts tomorrow. I can share the link here if that's okay. I don't want to just assume and do it unless I have permission. Sean, what do we always say? You have permission, of course. Like, why would we not allow? Also, we like you, Sean. We don't like everybody. So.
Sean, just remember the one convention I went, I think it was MegaCon a couple of years ago. I'm the one who took the picture of the Helvira screening there. Don't forget that.
There you go. And then Sean, fandom and running something that is so massive as time consuming and can honestly suck the fun out of something you love.
It really can.
It really can. Joe has been living this. So I'm thinking about Joe. So what is the Sean? Oh wait, here it is. Indiegogo projects Helvira S Haunted Asylum of Finishing Funds coming soon. Tell us a little bit about that. Do you know anything about that? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, no, that's not even what I'm referring to. I have
Sean's
bigger
busy.
news. So, if you guys don't know, my wife and daughter own a small business. It's called Hearts of the Mystic Folk, right? So, yeah, you saw the products. You actually handed them to Felissa, and when
I've pimped out for this particular brand.
because somebody may have been hung over or sick from a kidney stone, we still haven't determined that. Supposedly JW drank me under the table, so
It was the worst night of drinking I've ever been a part of that I didn't have.
But anyway, so everybody knows that.
You and Chris, I had Snorri on one side, and I was sleeping with a person that was larger than me. It was the first time it's ever.
That wasn't me.
That wasn't you. No.
Not this time, at least. Next time, maybe. Anyway, so Hearts of the Mystic Folk, they've been making these car air fresheners out of wood, and Sean Smithson's company has been making them, and the girls just signed a contract with Snap-on Tools to make air fresheners for them, and they just put in I think a 400-piece order. So, and that's going directly to Mr. Smithson and his woodworking company. So, yeah. And see, this is when we get everybody together. We want everybody to succeed. It's not bullshit, ladies and gentlemen. Become part of the Indie Escape. We help each other. It's what we do.
We also help each other mentally. We try to keep everybody calm and rational. Half of them done for your wife and daughter, Joe. Still working to get them done. Hearts from Sean Smith. And then, well, Raven says, "Oh, that is awesome, you guys." It really is, and that's the thing. Like, promoting the Mythica Fairy store.
Yeah.
I fuck this up every single time, Joe.
Well, you guys had a fairy thing from last week or something, right?
Right. She was on last week.
Yeah. That was great.
And then they did a thing. They we got some pictures. They sent them in. So we're happy for that. Would you like to stick around? We have to do our 2 segments. That
is completely up to you, brother. Because I have a tendency of interrupting and everything, and
because you're always thinking you're in control.
Me too.
Yeah. Jerry and I are okay. So why don't you stick around? We can talk a little Twilight Zone. We'll talk a little. I came from Jerry's basement.
And just so you know, I got an early screening of The Fall Guy. I didn't get through it. In all fairness, I wasn't feeling all that well, but
I'm just saying. My cousin sent me and this is if it's directed at us. My cousin said, "Is it supposed to be the Fall Guy show I used to watch? Because it doesn't look anything like it." So anyway, we'll see what happens. It's in the May 3rd slot. It's the opening week of summer. But May looks really. I will say May looks pretty good. Like we have Apes on the 10th. We have If on the 17th. We have Garfield on the 24th for kids, and then we have Furiosa Memorial Day weekend. So
I'm looking forward to Apes and Deadpool.
Not Furiosa? You're not a Mad Max fan? You didn't like Fury Road, really?
No, I did, but it's not my favorite kind of movie.
Okay. So you don't like apocalypse movies? Jesus, Joe. I thought we were. Okay. But you're gonna stick around. So stick around with us. Let's get some more comments.
I'm hitting the mute.
I'm hitting the mute. Definitely got to get Vicky and Joe's wife and daughter for the next Mythical Fairy Market together. Ooh. Jerry name.
Heck yeah.
JW name change again. Read aloud. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I know. I'm fuck. I'll just say fuck. Is Fall Guy that bad? People would be sad. I think when you have a movie that starts out the summer as a bummer, that's not good for the rest of the summer. They are expecting the summer to be where last summer was $3.9 billion. They're expecting this summer to be like $2.9 billion. And when you go, oh, well, it's only $1 billion, that's a lot of fucking money for movie theaters to stay open and have people buying popcorn and having asses in the seats.
What's the thing that you remember about the Fall Guy TV show? I mean, to me, instantly, it's the theme song.
It's a theme song and it's Lee Majors, right?
Yes.
Yep.
I don't know that there were adventures. I know that they were just shooting movies. So, I know that they're all over the place promoting this week. They were on Raw last night, wrestling last night, where they were promoting that they made the Guinness Book of Records. They did a car flip in the middle of the movie that went 8 full rotations. And they awarded on Raw last night. They awarded the guy a certificate from Guinness Book for 8 rotations with a car. Which, if it's about, like, I was thinking about it, like, you could make an interesting movie about stunt people that doesn't need a comedic heist component to it. Correct?
Right.
I mean, the stunt people are.
Blow that up, man!
You have the Fall Guy game.
Make him full screen.
You bet. You know what? When I
got Lee Majors to sign it.
When I come, fuck.
JW, make him full screen for a second, please.
Christ. Give me 1 second. God. You're always.
It's a button. You just hit it. Boom, full screen.
Which one?
Oh, Marona me. Seriously? You've been doing this for how long?
Look, I get one solo layout.
There you go.
Don't make fun of me. Why is he not on? Where is he?
That is sweet. He's behind the box.
I'm behind the box.
There you go. And Heather there. Hello, Heather.
Yeah. Nice time. Good times. Okay.
Now you can click the button.
That's pretty sweet, Jerry.
That is pretty cool. Exit solo layout. Okay. I know how to do it now. Now we're all set. Okay. Put you up there. So Randy would have loved that. Randy, rest in peace, Randy. I know.
Oh, by the way, I apologize. I'm so dark. We had a power surge, so my lights are on the fritz, and if I turn them on, all they do is blink different colors right now, which is really annoying. I gotta reprogram
Yes,
those.
Raven. I did see Tony Khan selling his work injury during the NFL draft. He's annoying as fuck. Anyway, moving on. Moving on to the next thing. What I will say, unmute. Jerry, can you talk? Make sure you're
Yep.
okay. Okay. But yeah. I got to figure out what's going on because my screen's going crazy. Anyway, I touched stuff and now it doesn't work. Let's talk about something important. We'll do Jerry's first. My favorite. It's one of my favorite parts of the show. It,
Oh, I agree.
It came from Jerry's basement in 3D. Of course, this is an amazing segment we do every week now, where Jerry finds a movie on a major streaming service. That means you can watch it anywhere. And basically, what we do is we tell you what that movie is and why you should watch it. Jerry, what do you got? What's the movie this week?
This week's movie is called Visiting Hours
Look at that
from
20th century
1982.
VHS box, and it was a green sticker, so you got a discount.
Was
That's
that
fucking
was that skull pixelated like a video game?
Horror
no.
section.
Here you go. Look,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
there you go. That's what it is. It's basically the lights in a hospital. So it's the lights in a hospital making a.
I'm not familiar with this one.
Okay, so look at that. Look at you with the fucking VHS. I love it.
Right?
So this, Jerry, you want to tell them a little bit about this one?
Visiting Hours is about a journalist, a female journalist who does a editorial on women's rights, aggravates someone. He tries to kill her, but he is unsuccessful. She ends up in a hospital. He finds out she survived, and he goes after her. And that person would be Michael Ironside.
Yeah, it's
Michael Ironside.
And
Yeah,
Michael
the cast-
Ironside plays a great villain.
the cast is
know from
insane.
Scanners.
Lee Grant is the journalist, and it basically becomes the target of a serial killer. William Shatner's also in it.
Yep.
Wait, what year did this come out?
1982, May.
So it was. You said it was before Scanners.
No, it's after Scanners.
After. That's
After
right.
Scanners. Scanners was 80,
I
80 or
think
81.
Scanners was 81, I think.
Scanners
Gotcha.
is 81. But so just so we're clear, this movie came out in May of 82 and grossed almost $14 million in 82 money.
Wow.
But was hated and despised by critics. But it's a Canadian slasher film. It's a Canadian group that basically did it. It has it has pseudonames, so you could see some, like sometimes you might get a video cassette box that has The Fright on it. So it's got a great cast. There's Lee Grant and William Shatner chit-chatting in their house.
Oh, and his nice toupee.
Yeah. Oh, well, this is young Shatner. This is pre-TJ Hooker Shatner.
Oh, the same hair as T.J. Hooker.
And then it has a really good cast. It also has the creepy vibes of the movie that has it. It reminds me of Jerry, without actually like it has the creepy vibes of Halloween 2, right?
It does very much.
It very much has the
Hospital
vibes of
Massacre is another
holy
one.
fuck. There's somebody killing people at a hospital. We're supposed to get healthy here. Jesus.
But Michael Ironside is
Michael
a great villain, though.
fucking
He's
maniac.
great in it.
So everything. He's great, and it's gory and it's a little fun, and it's a serial killer movie before serial killer movies were actually serial killer movies.
So where can I watch it?
Where can we watch it?
It is actually on YouTube. You don't need a subscription. You could just
Don't need a
get on
subscription.
YouTube.
Just get it on YouTube, baby. Boom.
Nice.
And like I said, these movies that Jerry comes up every week, him and I sit he sends me a message, and I Jerry, would you say it's the giddiest message you receive from me every week? I'm like, woo.
Yeah. What's the movie this week?
Yes. You did Night of the Comet. Night of the Comet's one of my favorite movies. And we talked about her being on the network, of course. But yeah, so this is one of those cool movies that if you like slasher movies, and 82 is a great, 82, the 80s years fantastic for any kind of
I
slasher
have
film
them.
we could find, and you and I have a penchant for it. Another thing I have a penchant for, and we're going to get to it right now, is this
Can I
Twilight
ask
series.
Jerry a question real fast before you do that?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So that's Canadian horror. Did you get into the Italian horrors?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
oh
Okay.
yeah. I'm
He
an
likes Argento.
Argento
Yeah,
fan, a Fulci fan, Diodato. Yeah,
Gates
I'm
of
in.
Hell, baby, the Gates of
Yep.
Hell.
Pava, both
Yeah,
Pavas.
him and like I'm sure you've heard.
I
I
did
don't
the
know.
New York Ripper.
Yeah, we just did the New York Ripper.
Right.
Um, so the interesting thing here, Joe, for Jerry and I went to high school together, but we did not hang out. But we've talked about this many times on the show.
Mhm.
Guaranteed, we were in many of the same theaters on any of a Friday night.
I recall you
Watching
guys saying that.
It's exactly the same fucking movies. Like we were talking off camera, off show one night. I caused a riot at this movie called The Guardian, which was like it's a terrible '90s movie about a tree demon that becomes
I
a
remember
nanny.
that movie too.
Terrible movie, but it's funny and it was a funny horror movie. Like the lady sprouted trees, and like she was weird, and I was one of those people. If I wasn't amused by the film, I amused myself. And there was an older group behind me, and I got into a fight at this one theater because they were like, "You're not funnier than the movie." I'm like, "Well, I think I am." And Jerry remembers the night he went to see it.
So wait a minute, you were basically doing a riff track before there were riff tracks, or
Yeah, because I'm like, "Oh my god! Oh, she's sprouting twigs. That's amazing." Fuck, and Jerry remembers when he saw that movie that there was a riot behind him. If I recall your memory, you said, "I remember the night where it was opening night and there was a big fight in the theater." I was in that fight. I caused that fight.
and this movie had that big of a crowd, huh? Damn.
It was a horror movie in the '90s. Everybody went to every horror movie.
That's how small the world is, though. Really, I mean,
that we were in the spheres, and we, to be honest,
just couldn't connect.
I'm closer with him now than most of my friends I had in high school. Do you know what I mean? Like just in sheer like what we have in common, what we like to chit chat about. So, and another thing we like to chit chat about.
One thing we didn't mention, or I don't know if you did because I wasn't listening to you guys, but and I listened on the way home. Then I had to get home and do shit. So, for Kyle, and I don't know about anybody else here, but the Rangers advanced.
Yes, they did.
All right, you got to bring that up, especially in the absence of Kyle.
I'm worried. I'm still worried. I don't like rust. I don't like when a team sweeps another team and they have to wait like a week and a half to play. I don't necessarily like that. And they've been
and find out who they're going to play.
Yeah, I don't. Well, it's either going to be the Islanders or it's going to be the Hurricanes.
Right.
So it's either a battle in New York or a battle with a team that they know pretty well, and that's not great. So, and they know them.
And the Islanders aren't the early '80s Islanders.
I'm not going to lie to you. I think this particular Rangers team, watching them is, I'm sure Kyle would agree with this. Watching them feels different. Like I'm not worried when they're behind. Like they have an incredible knack that when they're behind, they tend to like bear down, and then all of a sudden they're up 2-1. You know what I mean? Like, and it happens a lot, and I'm enjoying watching. Anyway, another thing I enjoy watching. I enjoy watching the Twilight Zone, and I enjoy doing the Twilight Zone Redux. We are in episode
14
of season 1, and so this episode is entitled "Third from the Sun." And I'm gonna read the opening, and I will do what I always do: read the opening, read the ending, and we'll talk about the episode a little bit because the episode is pretty great. So quitting time at the plant. Time for supper now. Time for families. Time for a cool drink on a porch. Time for the quiet rustle of leaf-laden trees that screen out the moon. And underneath it all, behind the eyes of the men, hanging invisible over the summer night, is a horror without words. For this is the stillness before storm. This is the eve of the end. So it starts with these guys streaming out of a factory, including these two gentlemen, Sturka, and this other gentleman who's kind of like a boss slash, he's kind of like this weird guy that hangs around. And Fritz Weaver plays Will Sturka, Edward Andrews plays Carling, and Joe Moross plays Jerry Ryden. Basically, they're guys streaming out of like a military facility, and they're all like, as they're leaving, the guards are saying things like biochemicals or bioweapons division, or they're saying horrible shit, just terrible nuclear division. Like they're streaming these guys out, and they're talking, and they get to chit chat, and basically, they come to the confluence that everything on the horizon points to 48 hours from the world ending, their world ending. And, everything they've heard from other coworkers, all the pieces are in place for enough weaponry on both sides to just level the world. Starts out that way. And then, we go to the, the home, we go to like the home of Sturka, and he basically starts, talking to a family, and a gentleman shows up who's a friend, who's a pilot, who's been working on a super secret program that basically is a ship that is capable of space. And and him and Sturka talk, and they hatch a plan that they're going to leave before the 48 hours before the world ends. And basically it sets an emotion like, who are we bringing? We're bringing my wife. You're bringing your wife and your daughter. There's enough provisions on. I've already put enough provisions on. I've bribed the guards. It's a plan. It's amazing. It's set in motion. And there are hints here and there that this is a fully realized future world where it's basically, there's a phone that doesn't actually look like a phone. That's great.
That phone's awesome looking, by the way.
Oh, it's amazing. It has the dial underneath. They pick it up and they're holding, like, it's amazing. And also there's weird artwork throughout the house. So there are hints everywhere of where we're headed. And then it becomes a race against time, because basically this gentleman who I showed earlier, this guy shows up, and he is kind of like, he's watching Sturka.
The guy with the glasses.
The guy with the glasses. Carling is watching. He's like a boss, and he's watching. He shows up at his house, and basically is like, I don't know what's going on here. I hope you guys aren't hatching a plan. I hope you guys don't know what you're doing. And basically, that's what the inside of the ship looks like. It's another based on a short story by Richard Matheson, who's one of our best sci-fi writers. And Serling just basically adapted almost all of his stuff.
So it almost seems like Fallout borrowed from this.
Yes, well, okay, but this is one of those episodes that is more than it seems. So they're talking about this. They drive in the car. They get there.
I didn't expect it.
Carling, yeah, it's great. It's a great ending. Carling shows up. They get there, and the ship looks traditional, like as if the government had fashioned a flying saucer. So it looks like a flying saucer out of the planet, out of Day the Earth Stood Still. For all the people that really like old sci-fi. And basically, what happens is, they get there. Carling tries to stop them. They kill Carling. They get on board. They fly off, and you just see the ship flying through. And they get on board, and they're talking. They're like, "We didn't think we were going to make it." And it's like, we've figured out that the planet we're going to. Thank God I think their communication level is just like us, and
yep,
everything's going to work out fine. And then
their language is similar to ours.
The language is similar to ours. And the end of the episode is what is the two gentlemen on the ship. These two guys right here figuring it out on the ship, and that's like, they have world charts and all kinds. The special effects are great, like for a '60s television show. The special effects, and especially the effects of where they're headed. Where are we headed? Will Sturka is the guy's name. Where are we headed, Will? We're headed that one up there, the third one from their sun. So this one is an ultimate trick. This is a planet that's not our own. It's not Earth. They're going to Earth, and they're in a flying saucer. that will eventually become a UFO. That will eventually they will come to our planet and they will live amongst us. So Third from the Sun is the name of the episode, and Third from the Sun is their destination. So it's not
Yeah.
Third from the Sun where they're coming from, it's Third from the Sun where they're going.
Right.
So
You
their
get the
planet,
idea through the whole episode that they're on.
they give you hints that that
they're
it's not
leaving.
it's
But
not
like the
our
phone, the little things.
the weird art. There's weird art in it. And it's just little hints all through the episode. The Ministry of Science is on one of the signs. So it's an alien civilization that's coming to visit us.
And Fritz
Yes,
is in Creepshow.
Fritz is in Creepshow. That's exactly right. He's the other
He's the
professor
professor in the crate
in,
episode.
in the crate episode who wants his wife
Ah.
killed. Fritz Weaver. Here's the closing narration. Behind a tiny ship heading into space is a doomed planet on the verge of suicide. Ahead lies a place called Earth, the third planet from the sun, and for William Sturka and the men and women with him, it's the eve of the beginning in the Twilight Zone. It's, and when I say this, like, I know we've been bombarded with M. Night Shyamalan and fake endings and plot twists, and these plot twists are all organic. It's where they started. It's I feel like we can go back to every movie at every different point, and somebody has seen the Twilight Zone that there's a germ of an idea in the center of whatever it is.
Yep,
And it's
100%.
the writing is so good. The writing is so good, and the hints are so amazing. Like I said, the little phone. There's some weird tribal art that's like on the table that he touches, like it's a crucifix, but it's not. It's not Christ. It's kind of like a weird. It's like it's kind of like the art you would see in Aboriginal tribes.
You know what I want to look at again? I want to look at it again because I want to see the piece of paper with the diagram.
Yes.
Because you take it for granted, right?
Yeah,
when they show it, but I want to
yeah.
look at it to see how accurate it is.
There's a diagram. There's a diagram basically, and you never find out what planet they're coming from.
And I want to see the cards again because they show the card table from underneath, right?
Oh yeah, that is the other thing.
If there's something there too,
right. Not only is the show well written, well directed, well acted, but in the middle there's a card game, like a bridge game. They have a bridge game as the cover for going and doing this, and basically have their friends come over to do like a card game. And there's this great shot of the three guys. I think I have. Did I have it? I think
that's their. They bring them over for the card
right there.
game.
Look at this. Look at this shot.
Yeah, there. Like that paper.
Look at this shot and tell me that these are people playing chess, not checkers.
Yeah, it's pretty kick ass.
Rod Serling's not fucking around. And that's that's the thing. Like this show was. We're talking about like woke stuff and different things. This show was ahead of its time. It was doing stuff in the 60s that most people couldn't do in the 70s, 80s, 90s. And it's also like it brings out the best people who learned their craft under Rod Serling. And look at this fucking shot of,
I like when he picks up the paper and it's
he picks up they make a play that they owe us money, like in bridge, right? And he writes the numbers down because he wants to get the paper away because he's been going over the paper with Sturka about what planet they're going to, and they don't want Carlin to see it. And so he picks it up and he's like, "Oh," and you like the one of the shots is he's holding the paper like this in front of the camera, and you can see the full diagram of what they were working on, but Carlin doesn't turn it over. But the suspense is there that if he does turn it over, more shit could go wrong, right? and so. It's just so well written. It's so well done, and I'm having such a good time. And Jerry, I hope you feel this way. I'm having such a good time just going back and watching the shows and enjoying it to the point where it's not even a chore anymore. Like sometimes when we do things for our shows, right, Joe? It can be a fucking chore. This isn't a chore. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying reviewing them. I'm enjoying parsing them out and figuring out what it might have touched in some geometric way. So next week,
I want that phone though. Just saying.
that phone was fucking amazing. That phone is incredible. Like I said, the set decoration, everything about the show is.
Was it a phone like a lineman would use that climbs a pole? It literally has a dial on the bottom.
It looked like
it was.
Yeah, actually,
Yeah,
the
maybe.
dial was on the bottom. Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
it's
on the
like
bottom,
pole worker. When I say
like-
pole workers, guys, I mean electrical phone line workers,
Not dollar
not
bill workers. Yeah, not dollar.
yeah, no, but they have like orange phones that had the dial on the bottom.
Yes, maybe it could be that. It could
It
be
did
like
have a dial on the bottom.
It rings, and it's the most ominous ring
Yeah, it's
in a
weird,
Twilight Zone episode yet. It's just ominous. And then he picks it up, and he's talking, and he picks it up exactly tilted perfectly so you can see the dial on the bottom. And so it's like,
Nice.
oh yeah. And then you start putting it together. You're like, that's not a regular phone. Why not a regular fucking dial? What the fuck?
But I mean, just think about what these set designers had to do back in the day.
Look at
I
this
mean,
set. Wait, look at this set,
Cool.
Joe. Look at
oh
how
yeah, that's
cool-
amazing,
I wish that was in my basement.
Like that,
right?
and like just and then this, I think the end also has when it finally they peer out from the that's the other thing, tracking shots, the way they move things, the cameras around. There's a tracking shot at the end. It goes from Jerry, who's the pilot, the guy that's sitting, to Sturka, to out the window to like a board, and then it goes out of the ship and it goes out through space, and it hits Earth, and I think Earth is just like a spinny like a model, but it looks great. Like it looks better than it should in the '60s. So I enjoy the show immensely. Also, I'm enjoying this show. If you're behind on this show, you shouldn't be, because people should be able to talk about it amongst ourselves, because it's been fantastic.
Well, did you see Raven's comment before that?
No, I haven't done any comments because we're talking about Twilight. Now
Sorry. Okay, I'll shut up. See, this is.
No,
why
that's
don't you
beautiful.
be quiet, Joe? Be a guest.
Damn it!
Damn it! This is why you gotta have your own show,
Right? I don't want to produce my own show, though. That's the problem. I've been producing shows for 7 years.
I know. I've seen it. I know what the thing is. I want to produce it. Anyway, Visiting Hours Hell. I'll have to check that one out. Shatner is in it also. Yes, he is.
Yes,
Yes, the cast is great. I caught this on Chiller. It definitely a B movie watch. It's good. It's a solid movie. A lot of vampire movies come from Italy. Yes. One really great vampire movie is out though from America right now. Abigail. Everybody should be watching Abigail. It's great. Not just good,
Definitely.
great. Fantastic. I enjoyed learning about a show I know is historically significant. I've always meant to watch. Never made time to. I haven't been able to watch all of them due to personal crap, but I've enjoyed the art segment. JW. As a Whovian, I've enjoyed the similarities of how they do special effects. Yes, I know you're a much bigger Who fan, and what I will promise is when this is the promise I'll make for the Who fans. We have Who fans, part of the show. This is the promise I make. When we get the new Doctor, when the new guy starts, we'll jump in. We'll try to watch it every week.
Oh my God!
We'll put it on Kyle's plate.
Oh, Jerry's oh my godding. What's going on?
What do you?
So
Oh my God!
my mother looked up the phone.
That's it.
Phone.
That's the phone. I love that your
You can
mom's
buy it for $41 on eBay.
does it say the Twilight Zone phone?
Vintage.
Vintage.
I want that product.
Ericaphone rotary dial beige telephone.
Like I don't want that one. I want the one from the show.
Well, of course you want the one from the show, but
I also
it's actually a thing.
I've ever told you guys about, like, I go to Disney all the time and I do the Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. There are props in the room that they set you up in before you get on the ride. And I tell my wife constantly, I'm gonna rip something off the fucking wall someday. Every time I go through, I'm like, I want the one thing they have. There's an episode with Shatner and his fiance, and their car breaks down in a small town, and they go into a little restaurant.
Oh,
There's a little devil machine
that I want.
that they put a nickel. They put a nickel
With a
in,
little
and
head on it.
it gives future. And that's in there, and I consistently want to steal it.
I thought that was gone.
No,
They didn't tear that down?
it's gone in California because of
Oh,
all
it's
the
not
Marvel.
gone here.
It's
I
not
remember
gone
going here, and I was wearing contacts, and I went like this. I lost both my fucking contacts
I
when we
will tell you,
dropped.
in my fatter days, Joe Ridgely, I've gone vertical on that ride.
No shit.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You can. The pictures are hilarious. And God forbid somebody's behind me because you can't see them. I take up 2 or 3 people out of the picture, and you will see me like standing, just
Wow.
yeah, fucking terrifying. Great, I love that ride.
Unless there's
But
pictures, it didn't happen.
I'll find them. Let's see. Don't make that promise, JW. Missy's way behind the new Doctor, and that starts up very soon. I'm not expecting to talk in detail at all, honey. Now, if you don't talk about X-Men, I may cry. We're going to wait till X-Men ends, Raven, and then we're going to talk about X-Men 97. Everybody should be talking about X-Men 97 because it's
I'm 3 episodes in.
not enough, Joe. You and Rich are in the same boat right now. I'm going to tell you right now. I told Rich last night about. I don't want to give it. I'm not giving spoilers, but I ugly cried at episode 5. Ugly cried for somebody I don't like.
Oh,
Ugly cried. Ugly cried.
okay.
For a character I do not like, and I have never liked, and I think he's over. I think they're overrated.
Can I say something real fast before we go into a different subject? Hey, guys that are watching, let us know what you're interested. Let us know what you want to hear about. Bring it. If we don't know, we can't do it.
Also, I'm not necessarily going to promise anything because I think she's right. You're right. We're way behind. Some people are way behind on Who. That's one of the reasons I told somebody asked about Who, and I said which Who, because Jerry.
See, I don't get the whole Who thing. I tried. I tried.
Who thing is very specific, but it's like I think it hit a really good spell when Eccleston started it in like the 2000s, and then it's been really good, and the people who've been in charge have been really good. But Jerry will say, "Who's your Who? Who's your Who, Jerry?"
Tom Baker.
Tom Baker's is Who.
Is that the guy with the curly hair?
Yes, that's my problem with Who.
And the cardboard dog.
It's like saying we're going to talk about Star Trek or Star Wars. Where the fuck do we start? Don't get me wrong. We'll talk about Star Trek and Star Wars. By the way, Rich had mentioned last night, dropped a tidbit that he has a show he's reviewed already that he couldn't talk about last night. So I don't know if he can talk about it yet. So I can't say anything. But it's a show that's dropping on Friday.
Tiffany Shepis was in the new Star Trek show.
I love the new Star Trek show.
And she's a friend of the network.
Anytime you want me to talk to her about that Star Trek show, I will talk to her because I love that Star Trek show.
No, what I want you to do is start approaching these people with the confidence that you should.
Probably. Anyway, it's a good time to end. Joe,
sorry.
Are you on the socials? Where are you on the socials?
Everything's the Indie Escape Network. That's it. Other than my Facebook page.
Okay.
Sorry.
Jerry, what do you got coming up with Slapjaw? Anything coming up?
May 10th, Dingbats in Clifton, New Jersey.
Also, I want to point out, if you're friends of the network, if you're in Loud Nerdy, and Jerry is in the group, by all means, friend Jerry, and also help Jerry's daughter out with she's a North Pocono cheerleader, and she has a ticket raffle. So, we don't have the information, but I think it's 3 for $10, a chance to win a whole roll of $5 scratch-offs. Support the fucking network. Be nice. Go to Jerry. Find Jerry's stuff. It's on Jerry's Facebook page. I know Jerry's wife will appreciate us helping.
Hey, you don't happen to have that show card, do you?
What show card? What show?
Or Sunday's show?
What show card? I mean, this.
Oh!
This show card, Joe Ridgely.
There you go.
I'm super prepped. I wasn't there yet. Relax. We're gonna get to this. You can find me, JW Colwell, as JW the Movie Guy on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky, anywhere and everywhere, talking and chit chatting. We also, as the Indie Escape Network, if you're creative and have a new indie movie trailer or commercial, email it to us. We'll play it on an upcoming Indie Escape Network show. The email is right there, kids. the.indie.escape@gmail.com. Joe will get it. We'll run it on an upcoming show. Super cool. Also coming up, Joe, who's guesting and meeting everybody on our show for a second or third time, is coming up and starting a new Sunday night show starting tentatively in June or whenever Joe really wants to do it, because Joe is the arbiter of Joe's time. Plus, he's got 2 new grandkids, so let's give him a fucking break. Also, shoot him an email if you're interested in if you're a producer, co-host, something. We can teach people how to be hosts and how to be producers. It's putting in the time and learning how to do it.
And we can have multiple. It doesn't have to be the same person every week.
It just doesn't have to be me and Jerry and Rich, and it could be other people. We want other people. We like other people. Also coming up this week, Joe has a gig. Joe is doing Path, the Carolina Fear Fest 2024. Matt Burns from Evil Genius, Michael McGlynn from Bloody Summer Camp and the Slasher Nurse, Brian Bremer from Pumpkinhead, Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, all hosted by our very capable host, Wendy Zire of the Sticky Microphone, and Joe Ridgely, coming up Sunday, May 5th at 10 p.m.
Oh, and Jamie Hill.
And Jamie Hill. So many people coming up.
From Skinamarink.
So that seems like it's going to be a good time coming Friday. You can also find Sunday. Sorry. Look, it's Mythica Fairy Market. I got something right. Anyway, moving on.
Why did I do the ticker thing on the bottom here?
I totally got it right that time.
Jesus.
Because you didn't think about
also, it. If you I didn't think about it. We're doing so well in the rest of it. Plus, you were coming on. I was nervous.
Oh, yeah, okay. I've seen you nervous. This ain't it.
Yeah, you did see me before the Felissa Rose thing. I was nervous. I was nervous just because I want to be prepped. Coming up on Monday, we're finishing up our Bondathon 2024. We have done a Bond from Connery, a Bond from Roger Moore, a Bond from Timothy Dalton, a Bond from Brosnan, and we will do a Bond from James Bond 007 with Daniel Craig. We're doing this movie called Skyfall. It's one of the best Bonds ever. It's in the top 5 of every Bond ranking you can find. We're doing that on Monday. So, last comment of the night. Sean Smithson. Let's see. Raven writes, they don't have a camera. I would ask you to be on that night. Laugh out loud. Fair. Cool. Okay, I've never seen the movie because I was raised Mormon and was not allowed to, but I recall in the video series there was a movie called Ticks. And apparently it was about very big ticks. Laugh out. Probably a funny horror film. Let's find it.
Ticks is all right.
Ticks is fine. I've seen Ticks. Jerry and I had the same video store. That's the other weird fucking thing. We had the same little mom and pop video store that we went to because we didn't have Blockbuster. We had a place in Lake Ariel called Carl's.
Mm-hmm. Is Ticks like 8-legged freaks?
It's better than 8-legged freaks.
Yeah, it's similar. They're not that huge though.
It's not great. It's not great like them from the 50s, but it's a good little horror movie. Let's see. Don't forget. Please help with us finishing funds. Indiegogo, Elvira S. Haunted Asylum and finishing funds coming soon. I put it up twice, Sean, and you know what? By all means, send it to us in the loudnerdy.com or Loud Nerdy Facebook page. Put it up. Get it up. People will respond. They like you, Sean. We like you. I don't like Joe anymore because he's commenting on my hosting.
No, not whatsoever. I want to thank you guys for letting me play in your playground or your sandbox. Though that was
I'm
really
getting
cool
you
again.
warm. I'm getting you warmed up so you can come back.
No, you were getting me warm. Sorry.
Oh well, there you go. I'm all for Klimt. Last things first. Let's get this out of the way. Also, I just want to say I thank everybody for watching the show. We appreciate you. I appreciate you. I have something going on tomorrow. It's kind of serious, but I expect to be back and fully functional by next Monday, next Tuesday. But I want to thank Joe for everything he's done for me and the network. I want to thank Jerry for being an amazing co-host along with Kyle. We'll see what happens. I love you all. I expect to be back. I don't expect anything to go wrong. And we'll see everybody next
Best wishes either way.
I appreciate it.
No shit. Last night when you said it, man, you brought a tear to my eye the way you said
it. I was trying to. My main goal, it's written down on my sheet card here, make Joe cry.
And you almost did. So
Joe crying.
And ladies and gentlemen, don't get me. I appreciate this man so much. We've been through to a couple of cons together and everything, and Yeah, we're building that bond. We're growing this network. I mean, you're basically the program director now. So
Yes, and I'm trying to find people too. It's really funny. Every time I find people, life gets in the way. Sometimes we have a Jurassic Park thing where life finds a way to screw things up. But hopefully not me. Hopefully not the network. We'll see everybody next week. Stay out of trouble.
hi, Cindy.
Oh yeah, Cindy Kamora, awesome show. Thank you, Cindy. We love you, Mama Kamora. Very interesting. Love you guys. Thank you. We love you too.
Love you, Mom.
Have a. I love you, Mom. Aw.
I have to.
Now I'm gonna cry.
I know.
Everybody have a good night. Go watch some movies. Have a good time. We'll talk about the Fall Guy and everything this week. Maybe
Raven, get a camera.
Raven, get a camera. You'd be good. I think you'd be great. Have a great night. We're ending. Bye.